from paragraph 2, Nigeria would have vast landmass, varied vegetation,
and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
So what's up, sweetheart? You really look like you're up to something.
I have a secret.
Okay.
I'll be going to Europe next week.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like you have your visa, your passport, your plane ticket?
No, not that way. Some men are helping us. We pay them, they take us through the desert, and then we cross the sea into Europe.
The desert, the sea. Isn't that the route where many have died?
Yes, it is indeed a very dangerous journey. In 2016 alone, 4,900 people died while crossing the Mediterranean Sea to enter Europe. Many were Nigerians. Without proper passports, travel documents, their bodies will never be identified nor returned home. Their families do not know they are dead. Thinking their loved ones have reached Europe, they wait for a happy phone call that will never come. The very few who survive the journey, they are forced into prostitution or other crimes just to survive. Eventually, they will be arrested and deported to Nigeria. Don't be a victim. Don't go this way. Your family needs you. Nigeria needs you.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
I was distressed to notice that some of the comments, especially in the social media, have crossed our national red lines by daring to question our collective existence as a nation. This is a step too far.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
I tell you, man, music is the most powerful force for this world. As better jam, they flow, and so everybody will feel and they rock out. You know, as a musician, I see this thing every time I stage they perform. You know, everybody will just scatter body. You know, even as you bought yourself when they form, that's when they feel like say, not if you touch yourself. Before you know, music don't they move there, you don't enter that side. You know, that time it don't matter which political party where you did or the person where they support, it don't matter. So why it no fit be the same on election day? Why we no fit just go, jelly, go vote without throwing blow, throwing stone, carry stick, carry machete, curse everybody? So just remember, say after all the political wahala and the brouhaha finish, we go still go back with the rock correct music together.
Hold it! Me! I don't come out my hand from oil bunkering.
General, what you gonna yarn? What did the yarn say? I don't understand though.
Because they spoil our water and our environment. And they cause our people serious harm. Militants say, you know good. Me! I not do again Sam. Because why? Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Can I see your particulars, sir?
Officer, my particulars no dey here.
In that case, you'll have to come with me to the police station.
Officer, which levels? Where I for find you something. Make
This is the network service of the NTA.
Representatives. Lami Ali, thanking you for joining us. The lawmakers are already in session, and a glance at the other paper shows that it's quite loaded, as we have up to 5 motions slated for passage. And then we also have about 3 bills that are slated for likely passage at second reading, one of which is a bill for an act to offer legal protection to people who give reasonable assistance in medical services or aid to an ill, injured or unconscious person at the immediate scene of an accident or emergency that has caused the illness. The Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, is presiding over today's plenary.
But his career was terminated unlawfully. And they only gave him an executive order of the termination of the career that actually put the petitioner in a state of disarray, and it has actually put the entire family in another different form. And he feels the only place he can seek for justice and for the statement and other benefits rightfully accrued to it, be given to him, is the House of Nigeria, which is the House of Representatives here, with the person, the Speaker, holding and presiding beyond party level in his affairs. So that's why we are here.
Beyond party level.
Beyond party level, yes. I'm still repeating, thank you very much. Because he presides beyond party level. Shows concern so much on all members and their constituents. So, Mr. Speaker, may I seek your audience of laying the petition? Huh?
Please proceed and lay the petition. Any more petition? Honorable, last.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Lazarus Obe Onyechimereze is my name. I represent Ikwo as South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State, south of the nation. This is a petition from one of my constituents, watching Gimo Ozioma of Idembia in Eza South of my constituency. It's titled Cry for Justice. This petition against AFF Team 4, headed by one caller Friday as the IPO, Omar Sene and others, over their manifest compromise, conspicuous gratification, fraudulent conduct, shoddy and wishy-washy investigation in advance free fraud, obtaining money and goods by false pretense, criminal conversion of goods and property, conspiracy, stealing, and threat to life, as stated by my constituent. I seek your permission, Right Honorable Speaker, to lay the petition.
Honorable Last, proceed and lay the report. Honorable Kanike.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker.
Can you speak to a mic, please?
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. My colleagues, I'm Amuda Konike Abubakar. I represent Ilorin East, Ilorin South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, I'm from Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I hereby will seek your indulgence to present this petition from about 5,000 of my constituents. And the petition is titled Proposal and Strong Appeal for Monetary Intervention for Resettling of over 5,000 internally displaced people to the tune of 252,243,750 naira due to property demolitions, business devastation, and loss of daily livings by the acts of the Nigerian Army engineers along NNPC pipeline right-of-way clearing in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. This petition is on behalf of about 5,000 of my constituents who have lived and earned their living in this area before now. And when they were developing their properties and businesses, there was nothing deterrent to the establishment of such in such places. Recently, the NNPC with the Nigerian Army of Engineers demolished for right-of-way. They have since accepted that fact, but they are seeking for compensation because people's livelihood have been So, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I would want to present this petition before you on behalf of my constituents so that they can have some fair hearing and justice. Thank you.
Okay, proceed and lay the petition. Honorable Jerome Amadi Eke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Jerome Amadi Eke. I represent the chair of Muma Federal Constituency of Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, the petition is coming from a community known and called Unwele community in Edeglen town in the Chie local government. This petition is a case of military invention, forceful siege of communal land, act of military brutality, harassment and intimidation, plus action capable of causing genocide and humanitarian crisis. Mr. Speaker, this petition is against the Garrison Commander, 6th Division, and other armed soldiers against the people of Igbo that happen to be an oil host community. With your kind consideration, Mr. Speaker, I urge I lay this petition before the House.
Please proceed and lay the petition. Any more petitions, honorable colleagues? Honorable EJ, anything from your constituents? Petition writers. Okay, no more petitions. So petitions referred to the Committee on Public Petitions. Chairman, Rules and Business. Could you please move that we take more than the two required matters of urgent public importance under our rules?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, Jeff. I represent the good people of Buruku, my dear colleagues. I'm from Benue State. I rise to move that the House do set aside the provisions of Order 8, Rule 1, Sub-Rule 4 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives to allow us to take more than two matters of urgent public importance. I so move.
Any seconder? Seconder, Honorable Dennis Agbo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Honorable Dennis Ndamodi Agbo, representing the highly enterprising people of Udemi, West North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Enugu State. I rise to second the motion assembly moved by the Chairman, Rules and Business. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. We'll start with Honorable Suleiman Salisu Salisco.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Suleiman Salisu Jubia, member representing Ketu Jubia. Mr. Speaker, I am from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, here with me, I am come under Order 8, Room 4, under matter of urgent and public importance. Mr. Speaker, sir, I hope you enable me to step all relevant so that I will pass my motion.
Two prayers, one, even though he didn't tell us, but it's on the destruction of lives and properties by rainstorm and flooding in Jibia local government area of Katsina State. So his first motion is that the matter be accepted by the House as urgent. Honorable Shekarau, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Hassan Adamu Shekarau. I represent Birnungwari, your federal constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the first leg of the motion that the matter is urgent. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Second limb of the motion is for us to suspend our rules to enable him to take the motion. Honorable EJ.
My right honorable Speaker and dear colleagues, I remain Honorable EJ Agboanyima, representing the good people of Ego Bubaha Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support that we suspend all relevant rules to enable my honorable colleagues this how take the motion being presented this morning. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Salisco, you can now move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, my name is Honorable Suleiman Salisu Jibia, member representing Keti Jibia. Mr. Speaker, I am from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, Saha, a motion urgent of national importance on the destruction of life and properties by the rainstorm flooding in Jibia local government area in Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, sir, the House knows that on the 15th July 2018, Sergeant rainstorm, strong wind, and caused by unprecedented natural disaster in Jibia, Jibia town, and 5 other villages within the Jibia local government area in Katsina State in my constituency. Regret, the 58 people have died and over 20 people are still missing. The further regrets, many houses have been destroyed and more than 500 people lost their homes and using the primary school as temporary for shelter. Many have been hospitalized. The House further wishes to commend His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, his quick response and urgent assistance made by the government, providing the relief material for the victims. The House further, Mr. Speaker, sir, we also wanted to thank the federal government delegation led by His Excellency, the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, beating the scan of the incident of the commiserated by the people of Katsina State, Jibia local government in Katsina State. Accordingly resolved to Mr. Speaker, observe 1 minute silence to dead victims of the flood. Number 2, urge the National Emergency Management Agency to as a matter of urgency to provide relief material for the affected persons. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, sir, we urge the House to send a delegation to visit the scan of the commiserated for the government of Katsina State and the people of Jibia in my constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I so move.
Seconder, Honorable Danduse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Danduse Mukhtar Mohamed, member representing Funtua Dandime Federal Constituency of Katsina State. I hereby raise to second this very important motion and even wanted to contribute. I so succumb.
Okay, you have contributed by seconding the motion. The motion is very clear. It's bordering on disaster. And in line with our rules, I'll put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Second matter of urgent public importance will be taken by Honorable Doye Diri.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My esteemed colleagues, I remain Diri Doye, representing Yenagoa, Kolokuma, Opokuma Federal Constituency of Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 8, Rule 4, to take this very urgent matter on the processes and financial proceeds of licensing rounds of Nigeria's marginal oil fields. I so move.
Honorable Betty Appiah will second the first leg of the motion.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Silence, please.
Mr. Speaker,
Order.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Betty Apiafi. I represent Abuja East Federal Constituency. I'm from Rivers State. I rise to second the motion as moved by Honorable Doyedi. We are so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Secondly, Honorable Gabriel Africa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Gabriel Onyewi face.
Honorable Sabo Garba, please.
Mr. Speaker, I represent Tui. I am a federal constituency, Anambra State. I am of political Apga extraction. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the second leave of the motion as heavily moved by Honorable Diri Doye. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Doye, please move your motion.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker and my esteemed colleagues. Urgent need to investigate the processes and financial proceeds of licensing rounds of Nigeria's marginal oil fields from 2001 to 2017. The House notes that our history with marginal fields, which shows a reserve from over 1,000 undeveloped oil and gas fields, beginning from 2001 licensing rounds through the unrealistic 2013 licensing rounds, has witnessed over 30 oil fields operators, which is known as the MFOs, whose performance currently puts the prospects of the 2017 to 2018 licensing rounds of the federal government targets in a precarious position of uncertainties, as the operational performance of the MFOs is arguably hinged on what may be broadly classified as external and internal factors. The House also notes that though there are considerable potential economic viability in marginal oil and gas.
Silence, please. Honorable Nasir Uzango, please.
Roughly estimated at about 116 identified marginal fields, with over 30 of such fields being farmed out to over 40 MFOs. It is sad to know that the development of these respective oil fields is lagging.
Silence, please. Please, order.
And at best, not fully successful. Despite policy initiatives by the federal government, as most of these marginal oil fields are battling with issues of funding, social, political, environmental, and even technical. Aware that the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR.
Silence, please. Honorable members, please listen in silence.
Had in 2014 stated that marginal oil fields licenses awarded to indigenous companies in 2003, which are yet to be developed by their owners, would be revoked in March 2015. 1 year after, the DPR is here to carry out the planned revocation
Honorable Soba,
of licenses
Honorable Dixon,
undeveloped
Honorable Lere, please take your seats.
Fields.
Honorable Soba, Honorable Dixon, Honorable Lere, please resume your seats and let's have some silence. Please.
Concerned that more than a decade after the award of the first marginal oil fields, the lease, the combined production volume of the MFOs are yet to make any significant impact in the Nigerian oil and gas industry, and currently accounting for less than 4% of the country's crude oil output, according to the NNPC, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Further concerned that these trends of ambiguities, uncertainties, and unpredictabilities associated
with the operation of these MFOs is hugely impeding the actualization of the nation's plan to earn additional revenue of about $14 billion. That's put at about 4.314 trillion naira from 300 million barrels of crude oil and gas. Worried that many major international oil companies, IOCs, have either abandoned or divested from the marginal oil fields, which prompted the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, to retain oil fields divested from major IOCs in the past, with little or no impact on oil production. The NPDC, with no capacity to cope with the operations of these oil fields as such, gone into strategic alliance agreements with various investors, which has not been too transparent. Further worried that this precarious situation has resulted in the huge revenue losses to the Federation account from the leaseholders, royalties, taxes, and other financial proceeds accruable from the operations of marginal oil fields. Disturbed that the existence of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Local Content Development Act 2010, the Freedom of Information Act 2011, and other extant laws, the marginal dynamics of the licensing and bidding rounds on one hand is not legitimately transparent, and professionalism of the respective MFOs do not meet our national aspirations and targets. After over a decade of our experimentation with marginal oil fields, the House therefore resolves to refer to the ad hoc committee investigating the huge debts owed by international oil companies, IOCs, to indigenous contractors to investigate 1. The processes of marginal oil field licenses acquisition. 2. The financial proceeds from successful bids, remittance, and non-remittance of revenues by the licensed operators into the Federation accounts. 3. The operations of licensed marginal field operators. And finally, the strategic alliance agreements between the IOCs, investors, and Nigerian Petroleum Development Company in the operations of the marginal fields. I so move.
Second, Honorable Prestige Osei.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My esteemed colleagues, I am Honorable Prestige Osei, member representing the industrious, entrepreneurial people of Aba North, Aba South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Abia State. I rise to second this motion, ably moved and canvassed by my very good friend and colleague, Honorable Diri Doye. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Diri, you know you always sing your name, so others have joined you too. The name is so special that it must be sung. This is an investigative motion, so I guess it's better we reserve our debate when the outcome of the investigation is made manifest. So I'll put a question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Next is Honorable Osei.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My honorable colleagues, Honorable Prestige Osei, member representing the good people of Aba North, Aba South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Abia State. My motion is on the urgent need to determine the status of the welfare of the service of men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces and security agencies. Mr. Speaker, I rise to request that we set aside our rules to enable me to take this very important motion, and at the same time request that the matter is urgent and important. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable ID Gang.
Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues, I remain Representative Idi Gyan, representing the very good people of Barikin Ladirium Federal Constituency. I'm from Plateau State, and I rise to second the motion that this motion is very urgent and therefore be considered to be taken by Honorable Prestige as moved. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Seconded the second leg of the motion, Honorable John Marapo.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members, my name is Onye Mechi Marapo. I represent Aniocha Oshimili Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion as moved. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Osi, you can now move your motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Honorable Prestige OC member representing Abanot, Abasa Federal Constituency from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, the urgent need to investigate the status of the welfare of the service men and women of the Nigerian security agencies. The House notes that kidnapping has become widespread in Nigeria, affecting almost all states of the country. Hardly a day passes without news of fresh kidnappings, even in places that did not experience kidnapping in the past. Note also that kidnappers have become so emboldened that they now engage in mass kidnapping in places such as Zamfara State. A whole family were kidnapped. Aware that killings in rural areas have increased and have extended to almost all parts of the country. Aware that the military has been suffering reverse and recording high casualties, including the killing of over 100 soldiers last week and the seizure by Boko Haram of 17 pickup vehicles that belongs to Nigerian Army. Concerned that in the past, these reverses were always attributed to low morale of servicemen and the inability to pay them their full entitlements. Concerned also, Mr. Speaker, that despite the increased deployment of soldiers, special task forces and police, these killings, kidnappings, and the reverse has continued. Further concerned, the media has been reporting complaints by military and paramilitary servicemen that they have not been receiving their welfare as at when due. Worried that there may be a link between the state of welfare of the military and the paramilitary, since men and their morale and effectiveness. Mr. Speaker, the House resolved to investigate the allegations, so to mandate the Committee on Army, Police,
Honorable
and
members, please, can you
Intelligence
take your seat? Honorable
to investigate
FCT.
the allegations of non-payment of allowances to personnel in the military, the police, and other security agencies. Secondly, to investigate the use of the contributions of state governments and other forms of donations by the military and other security agencies. And lastly, Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, to investigate and determine the status of releases from the military, the police, and other security agencies on the utilization of such releases, including the presidential intervention releases, and report back to the House within 9 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Anayo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues.
I remain Honorable Anna Ayo Edwin. I represent the good people of Ezano, Isheli Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. I rise to second the motion as moved by my good friend, Honorable Prestige. I so second. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, this is an investigative motion, so we should not prejudge before the outcome of the investigation is known. So I'll put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Which one is that? Yes. So I think we have come to the end of matters of urgent public importance for today. I don't think there's any outstanding. Okay. Let me make this announcement, then we'll take the 1 minute silence for the unfortunate incidents that happened in Jibia Federal Constituency of Katsina State. In the gallery, even though this is coming belatedly, constituents, Honorable Benny Lara's constituents from Langtown North and South Federal Constituency. If you're there, could you please rise? A round of applause for them. Thank you for coming. Kindly take your seats. Honorable colleagues, may we please rise to observe the 1 minute silence that will carry it in the prayers of the motion moved by Honorable Salisco. And may the gentle souls of the departed rest in perfect peace. Amen. Honorable colleagues, the first business of the day is presentation of 3 bills. I now invite the clerk to read the short titles.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Emergency Powers Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2018, first reading. Education National Minimum Standards and Establishment of Institutions Act Amendment Bill 2018, first reading. Government Performance and Results Establishment Bill 2018, first reading.
First order of the day, honorable colleagues, is consolidation of 2 bills. Honorable members may wish to note the bills are on the same subject matter, and I invite the Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, to move that the bills be now consolidated.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, Jeff, I represent the good people of Buruku, my dear colleagues. I'm from Benue State. I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Federal Road Safety Commission Act, Cap F19, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to introduce stiffer penalties for traffic offenses and for related matters, and a bill for an act to amend the Federal Road Safety Commission Establishment Act 2007 to ensure the safe commercial transportation of glass bottled drinks on roads and highways, and for other related matters, be consolidated as one bill. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so move.
Honorable Udende Mamza.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Emmanuel Memgao Dende. I represent Kasinala Hukum, Logo Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State. I stand to second the motion as moved by Chairman Rules and Business. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Committee on Rules and Business, please schedule a date for the commencement of debate on the general principles of the bill. Second order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of debate on the general principles of the bill of an act to offer legal protection to people who give reasonable assistance and medical services or aid to an ill, injured, or unconscious person at the immediate scene of an accident or emergency that has caused the illness, injury, or unconsciousness, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Amuda Kanike, G. Honorable members who recall the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 8 June 2016. I now invite Honorable Amuda Kanike to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Dr. Kanike is available and is ready to go on with this bill. But my attention was drawn to a prior resolution of the House on a similar bill that was taken, and Rules and Business was to look into it. Unfortunately, it slipped onto the order paper once again. I've spoken with Doctor, and I plead with the House to step it down. We do the needful and report back to the House.
Order 2 on the order paper stepped down on account of these prayers from Chairman Rules and Business by leave of the House. Second, move to the third order of the day, which is the commencement of debate on the general principles of the bill of an act to establish a federal polytechnic, Gwaza, Borno State, to provide for equity and access to tertiary education. The country make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Asabe Vilita Bashir. Honorable members who recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 17 April 2018. I now invite Honorable Bashir to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, I am Asabe Ulita Bashir. I represent the good people of Chibok, Damboa, and Goza Federal Constituency. I come from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic, Goza, in Borno State, to provide for equity and access to tertiary education in the country, make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration, and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Second, Honorable Kukua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, Honorable Abdullah Usman Kukua is my name. I represent Damaturu, Gujuba, Gulani, and Tarmoa in Yobe State. I stand to second the motion moved by Honorable Asabe that the motion have been read for the second time. I so second.
Honorable Vilita, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My respected colleagues, this is a bill which is seeking to establish a federal polytechnic in Goza local government area of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, sir, respected colleagues, Borno State is one of the states in the northeastern part of Nigeria. Borno State is bordered by Niger, Chad, and Cameroon republics. And as today, Mr. Speaker, Borno State is the second largest state in Nigeria, measuring about 71,000 kilometers squared. Mr. Speaker, sir, respected colleagues, Borno State has a population of over 4.2 million people, and that places it to be number 11, the most populated state in the country. Respected colleagues, despite the size of the state and its population, Borno State has only one federal university, and that is University of Maiduguri. Perhaps this accounts for the reason why education is backward in Borno. And as today, Borno State is listed among the educationally disadvantaged states in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, sir, this only institution, University of Maiduguri, is located in Maiduguri, in Borno, in the central zone of the state, while Goza local government is located in southern part of the state. As such, Goza is very far away from University of Maiduguri. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, Goza, as at 2006 census, has a population of over 300,000 people. And most of these people are craftsmen, artisans, entrepreneurs, and farmers. As such, this local government deserves to have a federal polytechnic so that the institution can refine these industrious and technically skilled people who live within Goza local government and the surrounding local governments, like Askira Uba local governments, Madagali local governments, Chibok local governments, Damboa local governments, and Bama local governments. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, as of today, it is being argued that one of the remote causes of the insurgency in the state is due to the backwardness of education in Borno State. And as such, I want to encourage this Honorable House and the stakeholders to do everything humanly possible to encourage education, especially tertiary education, where social vices are predominant. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, this is the main reason why this bill is seeking for the establishment of a federal polytechnic in Goza local government area of Borno State. If this is done, Your Excellency, respected colleagues, it will not only provide education for the teeming population of this local government and its environment, but it will help in creating more jobs, and also it will enhance the technical development of the state in particular and Nigeria at large. I therefore call on my respected colleagues to support this bill so that it can have a smooth passage. Thank you very much.
It's a straightforward bill, but Honorable Bashir wants to add to it. I hope you know Goza very well.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Kano State, and my name is Babale Bashir. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to mobilize my voice to this bill, this very important bill, because I quite believe, sir, when you open doors to school, you shut doors to prisons. But by the time you shut doors to school, then you open doors to schools. You open the doors to prisons. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am impressed with the number of bills we have in this very 8th Assembly with regard to establishment of tertiary institutions.
But at the same time, Mr. Speaker, I am worried because, Mr. Speaker, sir, if the chairman of tertiary institution will bail me out, as at today, in my count, we have over 100 bills with regard to establishment of tertiary institutions across Nigeria. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, 100 newly established federal tertiary institutions in Nigeria are not sufficient enough to cater for the educational deficit we have in Nigeria. But as lawmakers, Mr. Speaker, I always want to stick to my earlier
Silence,
position.
please. Honorable Otua, please.
My earlier position, Mr. Speaker, is, yes, agreed. Across the 360 federal constituencies we are representing, we will have loved to have a presence of federal tertiary institution in our various constituencies. But how possible is it? Do we have the financial capability as a nation to cater for it? Do we have the human resources to cater for it?
Honorable Dan, please. Honorable Dan, take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I really sympathize with states like Borno, which have Yobe, which has only one federal tertiary institution. Like in Borno, in the case of Asabe, the way she presented it, they have only federal university, federal...
Honorable Karim, Sunday Karimi, can you please take your seat and keep quiet?
Like in the case of Borno State, the way Asabe established the fact that they have the presence of only UNIMED. So they don't have any federal college of education. They don't have the presence of federal Polytechnic. Like in the case of Yobe, I think they have the presence of at least 2 federal tertiary institutions. They have Federal University Gashua, they have Federal College of Education, Hotel School. No, it's Gashua, the Federal University is in Gashua. The Federal Polytechnic is number 2. So Yobe has 3. So, Mr. Speaker, I feel the agitation of Madam Asabe is timely. The people of Goza, or the Southern Borno in particular, deserve to have a presence of one federal tertiary institution. I urge my colleagues to support the bill to pass through. Thank you.
Honorable MT.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Martin Munguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I sincerely thank my colleague from Kano State for sympathizing with our situation in Borno State, and also equally thank Honorable Asabe Bilita Bashir for her foresight and vision for sponsoring this very important bill. My colleagues, you have all heard the situation Borno State is in now, because we are only a beneficiary of one federal institution, which is the University of Maiduguri. I know majority of states in Nigeria enjoy either the benefit of having a federal polytechnic or a federal college of education. But Borno State, we have only one university, only one federal tertiary educational institution. And in view of the avalanche of various bills sponsored by members for the establishment of tertiary educational institutions across the nooks and crannies of this country, I urge my colleagues to single out the case of Borno State and treat it with all the concern and dispatch that it deserves, because our case is unique and it should not be lumped up together with all the bills that have been sponsored on the floor of this House, so that our own case can be treated uniquely and urgently, so that we can be at par with other states in Nigeria for the purpose of achieving national integration and what have you.
Thank you.
I'll put the question. The question is the bill be now read the second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Clerks are invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic Goza, Borno State, to provide for equity and access to tertiary education in the country, make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Tertiary Education Services. Fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Moku and to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Uchechukwu Jinam Obi. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 15th May 2018. I now invite Honorable Nam Obi to move the bill be read a second time.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Uchechukwu Namubi, and I represent the good people of Ahodo West and Oba Edem and Johnny Federal Constituency. I'm from River State. Mr. Speaker, I move with keen excitement the bill for an act to upgrade the Federal College of Education Technical Omok to the Federal University Omok to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration and related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chidoka.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name remains Obina Chidoka, representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I rise this afternoon, honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, to second the motion or the bill moved by my dear Honorable Namobi that his bill be read a second time. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Namobi, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. This bill is an audacious attempt to ensuring that there is unfettered access to education. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, you will recall that this bill was read for the first time on the 15th of May 2018, and it is primed to enhance the access of quality and technical education with a view to narrowing the gap of the dirt of the technically sound workforce to take up opportunities prevalent in oil and gas industry, even as our minds rivet on education. Mr. Speaker, education, as we know, facilitates learning and acquisition of skills. It is the bedrock of national development, and this proposal is born out of the fact that we do not have enough access to education in Nigeria. Given by the statistics in the world, we have actually not gotten up to 20%. Therefore, this university started as a teachers training college about 32 years ago. It morphed into the FCET, an affiliate of Nsukka, and as it is now, I would not belabor this issue, but I'll just give you a rundown of what the economic importance of this area is. Mr. Speaker, the Awashi region has no university, the Rivers West has no university, and this is a place where we have over 100 oil wells, the largest in any zone in Nigeria. From available statistics also, Oba Ebim and Doni, Ahodo West, account for 63% of River State revenue, and they produce not less than 40% of oil and gas revenue in Nigeria. This area is the only place where oil pipelines are not vandalized, and this will attest to the people as a peaceful people. We also, as a people, produce 100% feedstock to Indorama Petrochemical from Obrikomo Biafo. 56% of the entire feedstock of gas is also from this area, and it will also interest you to note that out of the 7 NIPP power projects, 3 of them are from this area. And given the importance again of this area, I am asking, and our people also demand, that we have this because it will be or create a towering educational impact in this region. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, this has happened in different areas, and I will also try to highlight a few areas. It's happened in Ondo, it happened in Imo State, it's happened in Benue, it's also happened in other areas. Mr. Speaker, this university, when established, will help educate, train, and equip young Nigerians to build competence and thus position themselves for technology transfer. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, currently the school is sitting on a very large expanse of land with requisite personnel, and if it is properly and effectively utilized, will seat the proposed university comfortably. Mr. Speaker, when established, it will run as a conventional university that will offer courses of study in both conventional and specialized fields of study, including law, medicine, engineering, agriculture, management, social sciences, etc. Right Honorable Speaker, members, the composition of this university and its functions are contained in clauses 6 and 7 of the bill. Part 3 of the bill also empowers the proposed university to make its statutes which shall govern its regulations and internal operations. Honorable members, Part 4 of the bill makes ample provisions relating to the university's supervision and disciplining of academic and non-academic staff, as well as the students of the proposed university. The establishment of a federal university in Omok River State is in the right direction so as to widen the scope of access to education. I therefore urge my dear colleagues to please support this bill because it will be a huge heraldry quest of education in this country. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, given the history of what this school is and what it means to our people, it will not only create employment, it will create access to education. I would like to quote my honorable colleague, Babale, who would say that it is better that we open up access to education because the day we refuse to do that, we'll be opening up the doors of prisons. I therefore urge my distinguished colleagues to please support this bill because it means a whole lot to our people and to Nigerians. It will not just serve Onelga people or Rivers people, but the entire country. I thank you for listening, and I pray that you give it speedy passage. Thank you very much.
Honorable DC.
How to kill it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Chief Idisi Lovett. I represent the good people of Etiop East, Etiop West Federal Constituency of Delta State. I'm proudly an honorable chief. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to support this all-important bill, which I think deserves all the support from my dear colleagues. First of all, Omoko in Rivers State is an oil-producing area in the Niger Delta. It's also a hugely production of gas is from that axis. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it goes without saying that this region deserves more. It deserves more infrastructural development in the educational sector. It deserves more based on the fact that the oil being produced from this area have not been adequately commensurate with the amount of development in this axis. So, Mr. Speaker, the need for siting this Polytechnic in this area will also engage the youths. The youths should not be taken for granted in this area. Siting a Polytechnic in this area will go a long way to calm the nerves of the restive youths and give them a sense of belonging. So that is one of the reasons I believe this bill is very important and we need to support it, not only because this area is in the Niger Delta, but primarily because the Niger Delta region has been badly shortchanged, and that is why any infrastructure, any development, any motion, any bill that has to do with development in this axis is highly supported, is highly required to be supported by my honorable colleagues. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I believe this is an all-important bill that deserves the encouragement of our colleagues, and I so support this all-important bill. Thank you so much.
Honorable Dr. Sani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dr. Mohammed Sani Abdu. I represent Al-Kaleriki Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi State, APC. Mr. Speaker, I am in support of this motion or bill because of the balance that it will bring in allocation of proper infrastructure for the development of our nation.
Silence.
What is good for the goose is good for the gander. That's why also I supported Velita, because we know only University of Maiduguri is federal. All others are state-owned institutions. But having said that, in establishing these institutions, we need to look at Nigeria as a whole and make sure that we have a formula for this distribution so that those areas that deserve will have it. Sir, I realize that in the past 6 months to now,
Honorable Kazauri,
about over 100 bills on the establishment of various schools have been established, brought before this hallowed chamber. Some deservedly, some desiringly, but some spurious. And that's why we need to look at it with a lost sense of responsibility. Because there are areas that definitely need these investments. But some other people are just doing election politicking with it. And I think it's not good for this House. The two for today, I support them. But there are many, I just look and say, I'm sorry. Because you will find in a state, there is a federal university, there is a polytechnic, there is College of Agriculture, and yet you will stand before this House, and which means you are spoiling the broth for others who deserve to have it. And this is what I don't think we will be doing on this floor. So I support the two for today, but next time we'll look at it graphically so that we will do the right thing. Again, I must warn us that even the universities, colleges of education, polytechnics, monotechnics, and so on, they are having it rough in running because there is no resources to run the existing ones. So why do we keep on proposing and proposing and proposing? Hence, we need to rationalize. And if Okoma deserve it, they should have it. If Goza deserve it, they should have it. But if Bauchi does not deserve it because we have Abubakar Tatari, we have Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, and we have Federal Polytechnic in Bauchi in the same city, then I don't need to propose. It's wrong. That is the point I'm trying to make. So the Minister of Education and all his parastatals that are in charge of this need to put their thinking cap and rationalize so that we have an optimum number of institutions that will be properly funded, properly guided, properly positioned and focused to serve our population and the nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is my little contribution regarding this debate. But thank you.
Honorable Chidoka will be the last contributor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obina Chidoka, representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to say that I stand on all fours with my colleague, whom I refer to as Intellectual MS, on his submission on this particular bill. First of all, I want to put it on record that I'm in support of establishing a federal university in Omoku, Rivers State. Secondly, I also want to state on record that I think that the proliferation of universities and also polytechnics in Nigeria will not augur well for our educational institutions. If the area deserves it, then we should give it to them. At this rate, I've seen some universities in some states that have been shut down due to paucity of funds. But I must say, Mr. Speaker, that our people need to go to school. I think education will be that channel through which we will bring about some level of understanding and upliftment of our general thinking. The world is moving away from what it is today. It's moving to a world of knowledge and technology. And we can only adapt that to having more schools that will train our people. I know that my colleague has left. All I know about Goza, for example, is the police training college that is there. That is what has made it very popular. But you know that at the end of the day, even the Boko Haram outran the training college. And some of the people that were arrested yesterday, that they said were part of the kidnap of the Chibok girls, you rightly see that they were not educated. If some of these people, and one of the testimonies, the young man didn't understand that he was being used. If you're educated to a certain level, people cannot use you for certain things to do that is not at par with what's expected in the society. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that from the restiveness in the South River State particularly, when we educate some of their young men, they will not become restive anymore, but they will become knowledgeable to use that to further themselves. If we educate those who are in the Northeast and the Northwest, for example, they will also use that to evaluate and educate themselves. So I rise this afternoon to support this and the other one too for the Polytechnic and University to be sure that our people get what is optimal. Now, as MS have rightly said, we have a barrage of requests. We do not want the Ministry of Education to put it under the table. What we want is a situation where this issue should be looked at based on merit and, of course, the order of priority. And we want to see that from this year and 2019 specifically, we want to see in the budget action plans for the takeoff of these schools, be it Polytechnic or university, so our people will get what they deserve. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for this opportunity, and I want to thank my colleagues for moving all this and for the contributions thus far. Thank you, and God bless.
I'll put the question. The question is that the bill be now read the second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Moku and to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Tertiary Education Services. Fifth order of the day is a motion on need to investigate the concession of the national carrier, standing in the name of Honorable Dennis Abu. Honorable Dennis is now invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that we step down item number 5 on the order paper as Honorable Agbo has an urgent flight to catch and is no longer available on the floor. He told me so.
Honorable colleagues, order.
Item 5 on the order paper stepped down by leave of the House. Sixth order of the day is a motion on urgent need to investigate over $50 billion, 8 trillion loss in gold tax revenue and illegal mining in the last 5 years, standing in the name of Honorable E.J. Aboima. Honorable Aboima is now invited to move the motion. Chairman, Rules and Business, have you reconciled?
My right honorable Speaker and dear colleagues.
Honorable E.J., I asked the Chairman, Rules and Business to respond to whether you have reconciled the matter. No, you don't have the floor. He has the floor.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I think in the light of what is now available, I think it will not be in the best interest of the House for Honorable Aboima to go on with this motion. There was a committee headed by there was a committee, another committee to investigate federal, this is the title of the committee, to investigate federal government investment process and revenue leakages in the solid sector from 2012 to 2017. Now the committee is still going on with its duty. Now if you look at what we have on the floor today, it's virtually the same thing. So in the interest of the image of the House, now that this has come to light, I think we respectfully ask Honorable Agboima to step down his own and allow the committee to carry on with its responsibility as per the resolution of the House.
Honorable EJ, just do the needful. Let's move on. If there's an investigation that the subject matter covers, effectively covers what you intend to raise, then it's only proper to allow them conclude the investigation first. And if there are still loopholes, then we can take the motion in order to deal with that specific subject.
Mr. Speaker, can I address the chair, Mr. Speaker?
Get up and talk. Chairman Rules and Business, we have resolved that Honorable EJ will move the motion, give it to Whip. We'll move the motion, and then the matter will be referred to the committee, the ad hoc committee that is already handling the case. So, yeah, so there should be an amendment to the prayers of the motion that is the ad hoc committee who is doing the job that should additionally entertain this.
My right honorable Speaker, dear colleagues, my dear Speaker, let me thank you for your leadership quality. I remain Honorable E.J. Agboanyima, representing the good people of Ego, Ikubaka Federal Constituency, Edo State. My dear Speaker, the motion before this honorable chamber today, an urgent need to investigate over $50 billion. That is about 8 trillion naira lost in gold tax revenue and illegal money in the last 5 years. The House notes the need to diversify from reliance on crude oil to alternative sources of revenue to cushion the effect of the nation's dwindling oil revenue. Let the House also know that the mining sector is a key driver in nation, that is national economic development, as Nigeria has the 4th largest reserve of bitumen in the world and the 2nd largest iron ore deposit in Africa, as well as abundant coal resources.
The House concerned that the mining industry in Nigeria is underutilized, leading to the importation of minerals that could produce domestically. The House also concerned that from report in 2016 by Signal One International, SOI, a privately owned United States company, Nigeria has lost over $50 billion in gold revenue tax over the past 2 years as a result of illegal mining and exportation of unprocessed gold. The House is aware that the former Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, identified inadequate tracking as key challenges to effective monitoring of revenue leakages in the nation's mining sector. The House worried that a report from the Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NETI, indicated that in 2014 and 2015, Nigeria lost about $9 billion to illegal mining and operation and gold exportation. The House also worried at the current average price of $1, that is $1,200 per ounce of gold in the international market, which amount to an unaccounted sum of $4,232,400, that is dollar per day, and $1 billion, that is $544,826 per annum, considering that 1 kilogram is equal to 35.27 ounces, going by international rate. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, this House resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate revenue leakages in the mining sector and illegal mining of the country mineral resources in the last 5 years, as well as the activities of the Ministry of Mining and Steel Development in containing the tracking of mineral movement within outside Nigeria, and report back to the House within 6 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I so move.
Honorable Shagari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Aminu Shehu Shagari, I represent Yabo Shagari constituency in Sokoto State. Let me commend Honorable EJ for bringing up this very important issue. I recall the last time we called the former Minister for Mines,
This is the Nigerian Television Authority bringing to you live legislative proceedings at the House of Representatives. Many matters have so far been treated. Among them are 2 bills that have been passed at second reading, one of which is a bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic Goza, Borno State, which seeks to provide for equity and access to tertiary education in the country. The second is a bill for an act to establish the Federal University, Muku, River State, which also seeks to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration. At the moment, the House is now dealing with item 6 on the order paper, which is a motion brought before the House by Representative Johnson Agbonima on the urgent need to investigate over $50 billion lost in gold tax revenue and illegal mining in the last 5 years. I'm afraid that's the much we can take on today's live transmission of legislative proceedings. Join us as we resume regular programming. We thank you very much for being with us. I'm Lami Ali on behalf of the entire production crew, thanking you for staying with us.